What is latency? Latency is a delay in the audio signal when recording. It can happen when recording audio or MIDI. If you're a vocalist or a voiceover talent, your microphone picks up your voice and that signal comes back to your headphones late. It might be a short delay that sounds like a phasing or a flanging sound. It could be a little bit longer, sounds like a slapback delay, or it can be much longer and sound like an echo. In any case, it's very distracting. There are two things that I look for first when trying to figure out where latency might be occurring. It's the Playback Engine in Pro Tools, and then any plugins that I may have instantiated on tracks in my session. Okay, let's take a look at the Playback Engine. In Pro Tools, under the Setup menu, Playback Engine, the hardware buffer size is going to determine how much latency you may be experiencing. The lower this number is set to, the lower the latency, but the harder your computer is going to have to work. Set that number higher, you're going to get more latency, but your computer is going to be able to do more things. So when you're recording or overdubbing, you want to set this number low. Later on, after all the recording is done and you're mixing, you can bump this number up to its highest value, 1024 samples, and this will allow your Pro Tools to run a lot more plugins, and at that point latency shouldn't be an issue because you're not doing any more recording. So once again, set it low for the lowest latency, but your computer's going to work harder. Set it high and higher latency, but your computer can run more plugins. One thing to point out about the hardware buffer size is there's not a single right answer. It depends on how big your session is, how fast your computer, and what it is that you're doing at the time. If you're recording and you have a small session, not a lot of plugins, you should be able to set that hardware buffer size to a very low value and have very low latency. As your session gets larger, you may have to bump that number up. 32, 64, 128, 512. When you're mixing, recording's done, you can bump that number up and carry on. Okay, let's look at another place where latency can occur within a Pro Tools session, and that's from plugins. I'm going to go to the mix window, and on this session, it's a small session, about 7, 8 tracks. I have a few plugins. The EQ3 7-band, this is the stock EQ in Pro Tools. It doesn't really incur much delay. And how I know that is I have the delay compensation view enabled at the bottom of the mix window. If you don't see the delay compensation view down here at the bottom, go to your view menu, mix window views, and check delay compensation. This will tell you if any and how much latency is being introduced on a per track basis by any plugins that you have on the tracks. Now, for example, this EQ plugin isn't really adding anything. It's a native EQ3 7-band. You can see there's 0 samples of delay or latency. But if I go over here to this plugin, this is the stock D3 expander gate. This is adding 96 samples of latency on this track. Delay compensation is enabled in my session. Go to the options menu. Delay compensation is checked, and that means that if a plugin creates a latency on one track, Pro Tools will add that latency to all the other tracks so that they remain phase coherent. You want that during mixing, but in terms of latency, it's going to mean that you're adding latency to the session. 96 samples isn't that much, but there are a lot of other plugins that will add a lot more latency. For example, the Maxim plugin, it adds 1024 samples of latency, and that's quite noticeable. There are other plugins that add even more, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 samples of latency, and that's going to be very noticeable and probably problematic if you're trying to record or overdub while dealing with that amount of latency. So how do you manage that? Well, one thing that you can do is you can temporarily make those plugins that are creating long latencies inactive. So for example, Maxim, I'll just right click on it, make it inactive. The plugin is still there. It's effectively turned off. Any settings that I've dialed in on the plugin will remain. Any automation on the plugin will remain, so that when I'm done doing the overdub, I can simply make the plugin active again and I'm good to go. Now, there's a difference between making it inactive and bypassing it. If I simply bypass the plugin, which I have right here, you'll see that the latency still is in play. So bypassing a plugin will not eliminate the latency. You have to make it inactive. And while looking at this delay compensation view at the bottom, the track that has the orange text in the delay compensation view numbers, that's telling you that track or tracks, it might be two or more of the same latency, has the longest latency in the session, right? So if I make this plugin inactive, the latency that it adds is gone, but now the orange text is over here on this expander gate plugin, which has got 96 samples. I probably wouldn't worry about that. That's not enough to create a big problem, but you can quickly see across the bottom of all your tracks which tracks, if any, are creating latency, and that would be in addition to the hardware buffer latency that you're seeing. So it could be a pretty lengthy latency. This is a quick way to manage that. Make those plugins inactive, or you could freeze those tracks, which would render those into audio and disable the plugins. So there's a couple of ways to manage that. Another way to deal with latency is to use low latency monitoring mode, which many audio interfaces support. If you're not sure, check the options menu in Pro Tools, low latency monitoring, turn that on. And what that does is it takes the incoming signal from the microphone and routes it directly out the headphones, so there's no latency at all. But by doing so, that signal is not going through Pro Tools. So if there's any EQ or dynamics or any processing on that vocal track, you're not going to hear that while you are recording in low latency mode. While you're recording in low latency mode. For example, Audio 1 over here, if I record and enable that track, the plugins on there are bypassed, which is kind of an indication that the audio is not going to be processed. But in actuality, the audio is being recorded to disk, but it's not being routed through those plugins while recording in low latency monitoring. As soon as you unarm the track, those plugins will become alive and unbypassed, and your processing will resume on the recorded audio track. You just won't get those plugins while your track is record armed. I've recreated latency latency and recorded it so that you can hear exactly what we're talking about. It can start off with a very short latency, phasing and flanging. It can lengthen out to a slapback delay or get even longer to a full-on echo. But here's some examples that we've recorded. I am using a plugin, a delay plugin, to simulate or replicate what latency sounds like. As right now you're hearing my voice with effectively zero or very little latency, but I'm using this plugin to recreate different latency latency that you might experience based on different hardware buffer settings in Pro Tools and or different plugins that you may have applied in the session which create additional latency. So right now there's very little or none. But let's go here to the 10 millisecond range. Okay, now I can hear my voice and it sounds like this is 10 milliseconds, roughly 10 milliseconds of latency. There's a little bit of flanging or phasing effect on my voice. It's not too bad, I could live with this, but I do notice that there's a difference in the audio signal. It's not as clear and as precise sounding. All right, that's 10 milliseconds of latency. Okay, now this is 60 milliseconds of delay. It's more of a slapback delay. 60 milliseconds of latency. It's more of a slapback delay effect. And it's tolerable, but not desirable, less than ideal. All right, let's move on. All right, now 100 milliseconds starts to get tricky. The late audio comes back, and I hear it in my headphones, and it's very distracting. It's almost difficult to speak while hearing that late audio coming back to myself. It's quite challenging. It's weird how that works. So it's no longer a phasey flanging thing. It's a slapback delay that comes back just late enough to be quite annoying. All right, that's 100 milliseconds. Let's move on to 200. All right, 200 milliseconds. Again, it's not phasey or flangey. It's a echo. It's a delay that's noticeably late after my original voice signal. And very distracting. It's difficult to talk or sing, whatever it is you're trying to do with this amount of latency in your signal path. You're probably thinking, really? You're going to replicate and show examples of latency? Not like we need to hear that. Anyway, hopefully this video will help you manage, either minimize or eliminate latency in your recordings. Take care. See you next time.